In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a long and forgotten LEGO set that was released over 20 years ago. This set is like no other because it doesn't just include LEGO. It came with an official LEGO trading card game. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, before we do go on to this video, don't forget to hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, leave a comment down below. Let me know what was the most recent LEGO set that you've purchased. Okay, so as you guys saw in the intro of this video, this is actually a really cool, I don't know, I actually came across this by accident. So basically what ended up happening, I was actually just going through one of my old LEGO bins, which I'll just show you right now. Ugh. It's this giant bin right here. I got a bunch of LEGO in here. A bunch of old stuff. I came across some old sets from 2004. That's why these are about 20 years old, because it's 2024 as I'm recording this video. For those of you who don't know, this is called the Knights and Kingdom set. Okay, so what I ended up actually finding was I found 4 of these. So you've got basically a guy named Santis, a guy named Jaco, Big Boy himself, which is Lord Vladek, and then finally, which was Raskus. If you saw in the intro of this video, I was talking about something about a trading card game. So I didn't actually realize this, but when I opened these, I was like, man, I actually remember these a little bit. I actually had a couple of minifigures, which I'll talk about later on, just scattered throughout my LEGO city. The one thing that caught my attention was if you actually look at all of these here, so I just learned this, but they used to all come with 3 trading cards. So that's kind of where this all thing started. So I ended up actually getting 4 of these, and I realized that when I was younger, I obviously had these trading cards, but I don't even know where I put them. Basically, what was actually really cool about this was when I was looking at this packaging, I was like, oh, I remember playing with these when I was younger, because what was really cool is I actually ended up getting more than just these sets here. So right now, if I'm not mistaken, the Knights and Kingdom kind of got absorbed into what we have right now as the Castle Knights themed sets, I think. But these were released back in 2004, like I was saying before, so these are kind of like were its own set at the time. And I think when this was released, they released between about, I want to say 40 to 50 different types of sets. The one thing that caught my eye was, like, if you remember in my LEGO City video, I actually show you the little castle I made at the very end of the video. I actually have some of these symbols on some of the characters. So I went back into the city and I was trying to find all of the little minifigures that I had from these sets. And I was trying to figure out, like, which sets I actually ended up getting when I was younger, just to try to, you know, obviously make this kind of cool little video. So this is what I found. So the first thing here is actually, it's all part of the same set from my understanding. It's possible that I had a different set, and I'll explain why later on. This was from a set called the Grand Tournament. So I didn't actually end up having a horse, but basically I had 2 of the knights. Unfortunately, I have a Spider-Man head in here, so I don't know where the actual face is. But in this one here, for example, I have Jaco as a knight. So this is like one of the minifigures, Jaco, and then this is supposed to be the other minifigure. I'm assuming it's Lord Vladek, or maybe one of his henchmen. I'm not totally sure. And then the other one you get is the king himself. This is King Matthias, which I thought was actually really cool. So this was part of the Grand Tournament, and I'll actually pull it up on the screen so you guys can actually see what it looked like. So this was the Grand Tournament itself. What you ended up getting with it was, I'll try to enlarge the photo here. So, but basically what you ended up getting was, I guess, one of the knights, you got your 2 banners. I guess I didn't really show the banner part. Basically, it was kind of like a little duel. So you ended up getting like these 2 horses that you would make. They're kind of like mechanical horses, and you just do a little jousting thing. But what was cool about it, and you kind of see it in the mechanic here, oops, on the side here, you can actually go ahead and like, you can like let them race each other. So it was kind of like a, but what was cool about it is, like, yeah, you got a bunch of different weapons. Obviously the version that I have is pretty beat up, as you can kind of see here. Like, this is the back of it. It's definitely really cool. Like, this is the one I definitely do remember. Just looking at it, like, I'm trying to remember, I don't think this is actually armor. It might be from a different set, but I know for a fact that I did have this set, because obviously this is the only way I would have had all 3 of these characters. But again, I probably mix and match the pieces, and I don't even remember where they are now. So that was the first set I had, which I thought was actually really cool. The second one that I'm not 100% sure about, but I can't seem to figure out where this knight is, and it's possible I did have this set. And the only reason why I say that is because I have his chest plate, and there's no other set that has the chest plate except for this one here, unless I'm maybe missing something that I'm not aware of. This is obviously a smaller set. You kind of have like the horse's front piece thing here, which is similar to what you would see kind of right here, at least. And I think I do have that red sword. I just don't know necessarily where it is. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find the rest of this set. So this is like the other one that I ended up having from Knights and Kingdom as well. But what was really cool about this, and this is where I'm going to kind of lead into eventually, is some of these sets came with 3 additional trading cards, which was really cool. So I think the tournament also had them as well, but a lot of the sets sets from this era, when you unbox it, you would also get trading cards, which was actually completely new and completely original than what you would normally expect from a Lego set, which I thought was really fascinating and really cool. And that's kind of what we're going to eventually lead into. But before that, I want to kind of give more of an introduction of what some of these sets are, because this is very different and you don't really see Lego do these nowadays. Now, the nice thing about these sets is like they don't cost that much. I think this one was only about, it sells for right now about $20-$30. A lot of even the minifigures themselves, like the big Bionicle style figures, again, same idea. They're only about like, you know, $5, $10, $15. They're really cheap sets, but this was definitely a very unique thing that Lego did, which I thought was really, really cool. Before we continue the video, I have a special announcement. My Lego idea submission called The Cone has reached the next milestone. We just passed the 100 supporter mark in under 3 days, which is absolutely incredible. So I do want to give a big thanks to everybody who's voted so far, but this is only just the beginning. We now have exactly 1 year to get to 1,000 supporters, so the journey has just begun. You can vote for my Lego idea submission in 3 easy steps. Step 1, click the link down below in the description. Step 2, log into your Lego Ideas account. And then finally, step 3, just click the support button. And that's it. I want to thank everybody for all the support so far. And now let's get back to the video. So yeah, like what I was mentioning before, obviously like these here, this was part of that grand tournament set, which I thought was really cool. You obviously got like the little flag piece that goes with it. I guess you would put it up on the side here. Again, obviously I'm missing a lot of pieces. Maybe one day I can go ahead and rebuild them. And then you got all the cool little chest plates. And the other thing too, and I guess I didn't show them, is I actually ended up having extra chest plates. I just don't know where these came from. That's the thing, because I don't know if it was part of the sets themselves, because I think I had more than just 2 sets, but I just can't seem to figure out or find any of the other sets. The other one too is I know for a fact I have a blue helmet like this, so I'm pretty sure I have more sets, but this is just what I could find at the moment at least. And maybe when I go through my Lego set one day, I can come across some of these again, and maybe I'll go ahead and rebuild them, which would be pretty cool. That's kind of the basis of these sets, which I thought was really interesting. These were again released back in 2004. It's part of the Knights and Kingdom set, but what I think is the really cool part is actually we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of these Bionicles. This is kind of like of the nostalgia. Some of my favorite minifigures actually just ended up being from the set. And again, if you remember from my previous video, a lot of these guys were up on that temple, and that's what kind of reminded me when I went through the Lego set and found these, because I thought I didn't have these anymore, and I was shocked that I still had them. So definitely a really cool find. So all right, so the next one here, we're gonna go ahead and start with Santis. I'm gonna kind of go ahead and unbox these, but this is basically what the boxes look like. You can go ahead and get all of the different knights. So you got Danju, which is the one I don't have, Jaco, Raskus, Santis, and Vladek. The only thing is, I'm pretty sure there's a difference between that Vladek and this Vladek. I think this is like a Lord Vladek, and like who's more like superior, and maybe this guy is more of like a minor henchman kind of version of him. I'm not totally sure, but these are the different ones. Like obviously you can battle each other, which is really cool. And then you always got one in here, and then you would get yeah, there's not very many pieces. You get the full character, Bionicle character, and then you would get like 3 trading cards, which we'll get into later on, because I did actually end up finding them in the end. This was the character himself. Oh my goodness, this guy is beat up. Look at this. We'll see if we can go ahead and just fix him up. Oh, actually, never mind. I got more of the trading cards. I didn't even realize that. So here's some of the trading cards. What we'll do is we'll go through them at the end, because I've got a lot of them. We're going to go through them all at the end. And I thought I didn't have any more. Look at that. I'm learning something new every day. So this is kind of how the mechanic works on them. It's kind of funny. Like you can go ahead and you can move the one arm back and forth. It's kind of like a built-in thing. I can't seem to attach the shield, but this was his shield. He was the bear, I guess. I might be missing a piece that kind of goes with it, but yeah, definitely interesting. So this is what one of them characters was. I'm going to go through and just kind of open up all of them. I can't really make him stand up or anything like that, but you could technically fight with them as it's technically meant for. So this is the first one. We're gonna go through and get all the other ones out. The next one here we have is Raskus. Oh, he's pretty broken. So he's like completely torn. We got some of the instructions. So here, I guess here. So this is Santis's instruction manual. We even got more cards in here, which is pretty cool. The actual Raskus is himself too. We got some pretty bent cards. We got a shield. We got some nicely bent cards. Love that. Look at this. Very bent. We're going to put these on the side, or we're going to go through them in a bit. So it looks like the cards that I had beforehand were probably from the actual set. So I must have had a lot of these sets, because I honestly can't even remember. And this was actually, look at this. So this was the old manual itself. Oh, it tells you how to play the game. Yeah, so the Knights Kingdom Challenge card game. I'm not going to go through and read them, but if you're curious, you can go ahead and read. Maybe another day we can try it out. Maybe it can be a different video and actually try out the game. But for right now, at least, this is the I guess so you can actually play the card game itself. This is Raskus completely beat up as a character. Okay, never mind. That's where you put the shield on. Kind of like the same idea here. So yeah, here's a full version of what they look like. I'm not sure what this piece. That's one. I'll kind of fix up the bear one. Minifigures. This is kind of like Bionicles. That's one I have to double check. I might have some old Bionicles, and I might have to go through and revisit those after 20 some years. Like that. Those were really cool sets to check out. All right, so there's that. There's that one. Close up these two for now. Absolutely really love these. I wish Lego did stuff like this again. I feel like back then, obviously they're trying to get people to buy the product, and like this was really cool and really interesting. I wish they did more like this. All right, here's the next one. We got Keiko. Good thing is it looks like he's pretty much built. Kind of nice because I kept all of them. So yeah, here are some of them. So yeah, I definitely had this one. I think I had this one because there's no other way I would have got the purple guy. I didn't have any of the big castles. Possible I had this one too because he's got the red knights. That's them. I wonder, I think they had comics in them if I'm not mistaken. They did. I do remember this now. Okay. Oh, I remember this. There was a full out comic about these. Yeah, this is crazy. So you had a full out comic. One was different. So you can like go through at the end of them. Kind of like what I think Lego Dreams has right now. And it's like, and you can go through and actually check out all the comics. Oh, I remember that now. Yeah, because I think they, same idea. So they're always like, they kind of go on challenges and quests. That's kind of how it ended up being in the end. Which was definitely really cool. Okay, so unfortunately I had a little bit of technical difficulties. My camera stopped working for a little bit, so I accidentally ended up unboxing all of these sets thinking I was recording, but I actually wasn't. And in addition to that, it's actually the next day because yesterday I ended up running out of time, so unfortunately I had to like cut the video in half right when this feed, basically my feed died, and now we're back. So these are the 4 figurines themselves. I think they're actually pretty interesting. So they all pretty much do the exact same thing. You can basically fight with your other character. So you just basically take 2 characters, you just kind of go ahead. It's definitely interesting. I'm curious to see if they'll ever bring something like this back. These are obviously pretty, they're a lot older. You know, the mechanics are pretty basic on them, but in general, I think they're definitely very unique and very, I really like this idea of creating a Lego set, and whether it's not you bring in the comics. I know that's what Lego Dreams is kind of doing right now. There's like different ways you can, I haven't actually built the Lego Dream set, but I've seen some of the stuff online. I do think that this is actually pretty interesting and definitely made these sets pretty original. Personally, I really like this one a lot. I don't know why. I think the green and then the color, the yellow color on his armor makes it look really cool. So what's interesting about these is like there's also an upgradable version of each one of these. It's like the Sir Jaco, Sir Raskus, Sir Santis, and so they kind of look a little bit more like this. So this is kind of more of like the upgraded versions of them. You'll notice that like the shield isn't just a piece of plastic, it's an actual like physical piece. Like this is just one piece, which is pretty cool. Sword's a little bit, I guess, more detail, a little bit bigger in that sense, but if you actually look at the size of the character is a little bit bigger. Same functionality though. So when you like look at Lord Vladik, kind of go ahead, same thing. It just kind of fights. In this case here, I guess it does more of a jabbing motion, whereas the other two do more of like a slashing motion, if that makes sense. So like if you look at like this one here, kind of like the same idea. Oh, I guess this one kind of goes like up and down. But so yeah, these are all of them. I think they're pretty interesting, but the one part that I think we're all waiting for, and this is something I'm really excited about, is like, I've shown you the different types of like the actual Lego sets where those also came with cards. We had the Grand Tournament, I think that's what it was called. These ones are the actual minifigure Bionicles, as I'm going to call them, because I don't have any other words to describe them other than, I mean, at least in 2004, and I definitely probably still have some Bionicles. I'd have to go take a look at those, but you know, these are like back during 2004, 2005, Bionicles were a big thing. So this is where this theme kind of obviously pushed through. Just in Bionicles universe, it's more in the Knights and Kingdom universe. Now the big thing that I think everyone's waiting for is I definitely want to check out these cards. So quick little recap: a lot of these sets that came out during the Knights and Kingdom set, you were able to get trading cards. Now I did learn this. You were only able to get trading cards if it was part of the North American release, so whether it's USA or Canada. Apparently in Europe you could not get the cards. So if you were to buy these sets, and so maybe someone, if you are watching from Europe and you did buy this set, you probably didn't get cards with them. So it is something apparently that was just America or USA and Canada exclusive, which is really cool. And so I don't really know much about the cards, so this is actually kind of like the first time. The one thing is, even though my video cut out beforehand, I didn't actually go through the cards, so it'll be the first time going through the cards, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, I'm actually really excited about this, so let's just do that right now. And actually, one last thing before, all the instructions, so when you were able to get these, and I'm assuming this is also applies for the European and the American edition as well, you did get a comic in the back. So each of the instruction manuals has some sort of comic. There's no words. If you are interested in them, you can actually look them up online. And I think there's a whole out story. So I think if you bought every single set, it tells a story. And I remember reading something about that online. So if you actually like look at this one here, for example, and I like flip through, like for example, like this one's got a tournament going on, whereas kind of look through here he's kind of going through like a little maze thing. So every single one was a different comic, if that makes sense. And it kind of tells the story of, I guess, the Knights going up against Lord Vladik, which I think is really interesting. So I had 4 of these. Probably had another one with the Grand Tournament instructions, but I'm not totally sure what those are. But this is the really cool part, and I never thought I'd actually be reviewing cards when it came to Lego. That's something that I never really thought about doing, but this is definitely something interesting. But I think I've got about 30 cards. I have no idea if I have duplicates or anything like that, but we'll kind of go ahead and take a look here. But basically, if you saw earlier on the video, you can actually play a card game that goes with it. I've never played it before, but I definitely thought it was something kind of interesting. But so basically right here, you've got Jaco, who's like the first one. I'm not totally sure what it says. Some of the first ones are a little bit bent. This is one of the Jaco cards. This is number 1, which is then you got him on a horse. And I guess they have like different abilities, as you can see here. So I think blue is speed, the green is agility, red is strength, and then the purple is wisdom. So that's basically what they mean. So they all have like different power, as you can tell. So here we've got a Raskus, which is card number 31. I have no idea how many cards are in this set. What's interesting, I'm just kind of looking it up right now online, and it's kind of hard to tell. It sounds like there's maybe 100 cards, but there's like different eras of the cards, which is also interesting. There's also a Game Boy Advance game, so that might be something I might try to buy one day and see if we can just try it out. I'm not totally sure how that would look, but it looks like there was like a couple eras of it, or maybe it's hard to say. Like the link that I'm on doesn't really give me all the information, but just looking it up on Bricklink, it's actually very hard to find the actual list itself, but it looks like there's 110 cards, so I guess we have 30 of them. I don't even know. Maybe if you guys want to see more of this, we could try to make a video where we go ahead and try to collect all of them. It would be kind of an interesting thing to do. But here we've got Raskus. I'll see if we have any duplicates or in the end, or see if we can kind of put these guys in order. We've got another Raskus, which is 28. What I thought was interesting about these cards compared to if you look at like Pokemon cards, for example, is like these are like cut out very uniquely. You wouldn't ever really see anything kind of like this, which is definitely interesting. Unfortunately, some of mine are like a little bit bent, as you can see, because I kind of left them in the bin. But here we got another Raskus, number 33. Then we're gonna get some Santis. So we got one. We got number 22 Santis. Curious to see. Yeah, so it looks like there's different descriptions on each one. So like number 22, it says, in his spare time, Santis likes to help out with the family farm. He's very loyal to his family and likes to spend time on the land he loves. And then, for example, number 24 is this one here with all his other buddies. Santis is the strongest knight and the master of tactics and plans. He will use these skills to protect his friends on their adventure. These are really cool cards, and I love how like even on the back it's kind of similar to like you got like their nice little like Knights and Kingdom emblem. So this is different. So this looks like it's an area. So we got a citadel. And the other thing too I noticed is actually we've got like different icons up top. So what do those mean? So I guess the sword beats a helmet. Helmet beats a shield. Shield beats a sword, and the heart of the magic beats all. Maybe one day we'll actually go ahead and play a game. Oh, we're lagging a little bit. Oh, I guess this was the citadel. I never actually brought it down. We got a Shadow Knight. This is our first kind of, we got like our first, this is like our first evil Shadow Knight. So this one says, during their transformation, the armor of Shadow Knights becomes tougher and more hard wearing, so they may better serve the will of Vladek. So that's kind of these guys must be part of the evil army, which is very cool. Then we got another Raskus, number 35. So it's interesting. I don't think we've had any duplicates so far, which is kind of get like a bunch of original different types of characters, which is always really cool. Then we got King Matthias, number 96. This is kind of cool because I obviously have him as the little minifigure, but I don't have him as the full Bionicle, as we're going to call him. But King Matthias is the great noble ruler of the kingdom of Morsha. From atop his powerful siege tower, he leads his mighty army into battle against Lord Vladek's forces. Definitely really cool. Oh, look at this. This is like a utility thing. Got Morshan's giant crossbow, number 107. It'd be really cool to see if we can get like the entire collection of these just for fun. Be interesting to try it out. Then we got Guardians, number 54. Guardian Shield shows a picture of the heart of the magic shield of ages inside the walls of the citadel. No sword can damage his shield. No, we haven't got anything with that really good symbol that showed it in the structure that beats everything. Got actual Vladek. So this one here is, I guess, the evil ruler himself, Vladek. Vladek is cunning, jealous, and only interested in himself. More than anything else, he wants to seize the throne and take over control of Morsha. He has waited many long years for his chance. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to read because I'm like kind of reading through my screen, and then you got Shadow Knights, which are also really cool. It's interesting to see the difference between them. You'll notice here, so you've got like Vladek has got like a completely different helm than the actual his knights. Like the armor looks pretty similar, but it's still pretty cool. I really like what they did with the Vladek one. Oh, we got another Vladek here, number 40. So these ones are a little bit better. Castle of Morsha. It looks a little dark and gloomy. So once Vladek has, oh, here we go. This is when he controls the castle. Looks like. So once Vladek has controlled the kingdom and the Book of Morsha, his magic powers grow even greater. Even change the castle into a fortress of evil, which is definitely what he did. Then we got a Guardian, which is number 52. What is this? Long ago, First Knight Orlin asked his loyal knights to defend the heart and gave him great powers to help him. Now inside the citadel, no one can beat the Guardians. Oh, and then here's the castle of Morsha when it's, you know, not under control. It's kind of cool to see the difference. I have to say, as much as this one looks really nice, this one actually looks really cool with like the dark tint to it. Definitely something that I think is really cool. Then we got the actual king himself. We got Sir Jaco's new armor. So this was what I was referring to beforehand. So you kind of have Sir Jaco. This is kind of like like his upgraded version. Kind of see them like this when you put them side by side. So this is kind of like his upgraded version over here, which is definitely really cool in the end. And I think we got another one. So I think our first was Mortian's giant crossbow. I think we got another one of those, if I'm not mistaken. That's our first duplicate, which is actually kind of crazy. The fact that we got only 110 cards, we've only had one duplicate so far, is pretty cool. Then we got the tournament arena. This is kind of perfect. I feel like I got this one in part of the grand tournament thing that I did. Got the Sir Raskus's new armor. Again, the gold trimming looks really cool on them, I have to say. Those look really cool. Then we got Scorpion's prison cave. And then, oh, we only got two more. We got Sir Raskus again. Finally, we've got a fireball catapult. So this is obviously part of Vladik's army, which is interesting. So Lord Vladik has created thousands of fireball catapults from his new army. These fearsome war machines can launch devastating fireballs at anyone who opposes Vladik's dark forces. And then the last one, I think we have another Vladik. I think this one here we also had a duplicate of, but that's fine. Yeah, that's it pretty much. I don't know. I think this is definitely pretty interesting. Like, it's not every day that you see Lego actually go ahead and create like a trading card game in some way. Let me know down below if you actually want me to try to see if I can get all of them in the end. Obviously mine are pretty beat up. I'm sure I can probably find them relatively cheap online, and maybe we can go ahead and actually complete the set, and I could do another video where I actually show the entire set completely done. Maybe I can try and go ahead and get the rest of these guys here, because this was definitely a really cool era of stuff. I'm only actually missing, don't have this is the purple guy, I forgot his name. Let me know down below if you guys think it'd be a cool idea for me to try to go ahead and get all of these types of cards. It'd kind of be a cool video. Maybe I'll put these in a binder and then we can just show it off and do kind of a follow-up video of going through every single one of these cards. And so yeah, that will pretty much do it for this video. Yeah, let me know down below if you actually enjoyed this. I thought this was kind of cool. It was completely by accident I came across this, just kind of going through some of my old Lego bins. I actually ended up finding obviously these Bionicle slash Kingdom people. I don't even know what you want to call them. Knights and Kingdom Bionicles, that's what I'm going to call them in the end. Draco is definitely my favorite because it's blue, and I also really like the shield. Definitely looks really cool. With that being said though, don't forget to hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you want me to go ahead and try to complete the entire Kingdoms and Knights TCG, if you even want to call it that. I don't even know at this point, but I think it'd be definitely really cool to see if we can get all 110 cards. I haven't even seen all of them. This is like the first time I've really seen these in a long time, so it definitely be pretty interesting. But yeah, other than that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click on one of these two videos that pop up on the side here, and I will see you guys in the next one. So see ya.